Here we are for episode 3 of the PenPen Nootcast. The Nootcast where we discuss the coolness of so many things, such as the video game. And if you've been keeping track of my YouTube and keeping track of what I've been posting and my TikTokies and bits like that, I've been discussing about some old school games. Games from the noughties, okay? I was amazed to find out that Nintendogs is 18 years old at the moment. And I thought, that's crazy, because I remember growing up with that. And honestly, when you grow up with a game and grow up with all these games and all these different consoles, you get nostalgic. And I don't know if anyone's gotten nostalgic over these games. Like, why are we not celebrating these nostalgic games? So when I grew up, obviously I grew up during the noughties of video games. So we had the Dreamcast, we had a bit of the 64 going into the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the Xbox. And it's fascinating to see how games changed since then. Well, I'm going to be talking about today, I'm going to be focusing more so on the side which is very focused on Nintendo and Sega, because those are the consoles I focused on growing up, and the games I still keep going back to this day, because there's some amazing games there. One of my favourite games of all time is still F-Zero GX for the Nintendo GameCube, which has never got re-released, which I still want it to be released, but that was a Sega and Nintendo communication thing working together because the Dreamcast was a flop. And that's the sad truth of it. It was a flop. But we also had the DS come out. We had the PSP. And it's interesting how these games came about. And then, to arguably, 2009 time, I think it's like 2007, 2008, we got the Nintendo Wii, which revolutionized gaming once again. And we're talking about a 10-year period. We came from the GameCube, which was such a traditional console, to then also the Wii, which was not your traditional console, which probably revolutionized gaming in a slightly different way, and led on to the impact of what we actually have with the VR stuff, if you consider. So, starting from the beginning, year 2000 odd, we got the Dreamcast, and I still argue that deserves so much better. If you're a Sega person, you know what I'm on about. You know what I'm on about. We grew up on the Dreamcast with Jet Set Radio. We grew up with Space Channel 5, Crazy Taxi, all games that have kind of, gone into the wayside. And Sega recently announced that they will be making a new Crazy Taxi, and they'll be releasing a new Jet Set Radio. And I think that's pretty damn awesome, because these are games that really stood out. But arguably, one of the best games on it, well, best two games, was Sonic Adventure series, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And if you're a Sonic fan, and or if you know anything about Sonic, many people will argue these was the best Sonic games. And they originally came out on the Dreamcast. Yes, they got released onto the GameCube and then onto Steam. And to be fair, many people play them on Steam to this day because they're amazing games. If you've not played Sonic Adventure, so basically you play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and a robot called E102, and the annoying cat, which I absolutely hate. And if you've ever seen me stream the game, you know I absolutely hate this character. Big the cat. Big the goddamn cat. It was a crazy time, but it was amazing because it was arguably, it was probably the start of open world gaming, because though you had a small world, you bounced across from going from the city area and running around the city area at night and day, where it's only small areas, and then you go exploring to the Mystic Ruins, to the Forest Zone, and I think that's quite cool. I thought it was really interesting. Oh, and the egg flying machine, the egg carrier. It was the egg carrier that was part of that as well. And arguably at the start of that, Sonic Adventure 2 went in a completely different direction, but it's still badass at the game. We got Shadow the Hedgehog, and if you're excited for the Sonic 3 movie, Shadow's coming back, and that's gonna be so cool. But we changed, obviously, and Sega went, and then Dreamcast and games. But that was quite the peak of Sonic. So if you look back to the noughties, the peak of Sonic, I argue, was that time period. Especially because other games from that time period, we had Sonic Colors, Unleashed, and bits like that. And these are all games people rave about to this day. But on the flip side, we had Nintendo. And I talk about Nintendogs. So I was talking to someone actually about this. It's like we have such a range of games which are about looking after pets, and where did they go? Tamagotchi's made a comeback. Tamagotchi has made a comeback. Okay, you can't go to a shop where they sell geeky things without seeing a Tamagotchi. And I think that's so cool. I think that's damn cool. But what happens to those sort of games like Nintendogs and bits? Yes, I'm having a little joke of, haha, we should have Nintendo Penguins. But why? What happened to those sort of games? Like, are they still around? What's happened? Because I think they'll still be very popular. With the cozy gamer vibe at the moment being such a predominant, what happened to those sort of games? The other sort of game, and this is kind of what got my brain ticking. So, if you go on the Nintendo Oculus Quest, you'll see there's a lot of fitness games. I think that's one reason people say Beat Saber's so good is because it's physical activities. Okay, and I'm a big fan of this sort of thing. Okay, I actually hop on Wii Sports, and I've been meaning to get back on Wii Fit because I like games which keep you active. And one thing I love about the Wii is throw my hands around all nutty and bits, and it references back to me saying about how I miss Woohoo Island and miss the Wii Sports Resort because one of the games that I actually got popular on Twitch was a fitness game called Switch Sports, which was a predecessor to Nintendo Wii Sports. And obviously, it's a fantastic game. I love it so much. It was one of my favorite games. Can I admit that? No, because it's trash. It's a trash game compared to Wii Sports Resort, which is obviously better. But why have we not got more games like that? And obviously, I understand that if you look at PlayStation, okay, they dabbled in sort of jumpy around games. Yeah, the dance map for the PlayStation 2. But you look at the Xbox, we had the Kinect as well, and they all tried to copy the Nintendo Wii's way of doing things like that. And now with the Oculus Quest, they're trying fitness games. They're trying there's like a fitness boxing game, a bit like that, which does have. When I was on my cruise to Amsterdam, I was actually playing that in the hotel room because I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to get fit. I'm going to do punchy, punchy, pull, pow, pow. And I was sorting out the hand tracking. I thought, oh, you know what? I've got a feeling more hand tracking. I'll do the boxing game. I'll do a bit of this. And then it didn't work out. It was just, there's complications with the hand tracking. And I thought, I can't be asked. But I'll probably play it again because we've got a Hatsune Miku version coming out one day. So, PenPen plays Hatsune Miku boxing? Maybe. You never know. But it was simple, fun, happy family games. And I think it's amazing that these games were there and they were so popular. Like, gaming has come from being so family orientated from back then, on the Wii especially, and the DS, to now the Switch, which is still more gamer focused. I don't know, obviously kids have a lot of Nintendo Switches, but where's that element of family? I'm kind of curious. Like, family and fitness are genres of the gaming industry, which are kind of there, but kind of not. Obviously, a lot of old people now play more Candy Crush Saga, more your mobile games, which I still would love to be able to get into mobile games, but they don't connect with me. I've not found anything that reconnects. In fact, my gaming device when I go out, I don't no longer carry around the Steam Deck, and I no longer carry around the Nintendo Switch. I carry around a little gaming device which plays a lot of old school games. And the old school game I've been playing at the moment is Pokemon. I've been enjoying Pokemon, and in the noughties, we grew up with the Game Boy Advance. And I probably would do a ranking thing, the people do the tier list and go, oh yeah, this Game Boy Advance SP. If you look back at some of the games, actually, you know what? A damn good game. The Pokemon series was peaking on the DS and on the GBA. If you go on Twitch now, I could bet you there's still 100 channels playing Pokemon Red, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Pokemon Emerald. Why? Why? I'd wonder why, because obviously games being so different back then, it was a lot more simple. Like, how crazy is it? Games were so much more simple, fun, and they're still being played now. Obviously, yeah, I understand people playing not Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but how does that equate to now? How on earth do these games equate to now? Is it nostalgia thing? And this is the big thing that I'm trying to get my head around. I have a lot of nostalgia for games in the noughties. I grew up with Gran Turismo, which got me into motor racing. I grew up with Nintendo consoles, and it's led me on to doing the Nootcast and doing, Twitch and doing live streaming. But it makes you wonder where gaming's gone from then, and where gaming will head from here on out. Esports was never a thing in the noughties. Now esports are such a big thing. Yeah, I've watched a bit of esports. I watched the Overwatch League. I've watched Gran Turismo's thing. But is gaming now becoming more of a niche by doing this? Because is it becoming this whole thing? You're a gamer, you're gaming, or maybe I'm thinking too hard into it. Like I said, I think the Wii and the DS were two consoles which seemed to break the mold. They broke the mold in a very different way. Gamers no longer gamers. It was a matter of everyone owned these sort of things. One of my fondest memories is actually playing Donkey Konga for the Nintendo GameCube. And once again, I'm bouncing between this sort of period of 2003 and 2009. That seemed to be where gaming went from one direction to the other. For the PlayStation, obviously PlayStation, Xbox, they always had their focus. But I remember growing up, around a lot of people that owned Xbox. And people used to rave. Maybe it's where I'm getting old. Maybe I'm getting old. But everyone used to rave about Halo. Like, okay, I never played shoot 'em up games. I don't really connect with them. Okay, maybe I'll do in a way with Overwatch and with Splatoon now. Those are now, no games that I love so much. And so now I get it. I thought, okay, I'll play a bit of Fortnite as well. Fortnite's pretty cool. Fortnite's cool. Okay. PenPen's hip, young, cool. I get what Fortnite's about now. Okay. But I don't see people raving about the same way. Or is it because I don't have those people around me at the moment? Or what? But I remember back being on the GameCube, we used to dig out a game called Donkey Konga. And my family and another family also had the game. We'd meet up, we'd bring each other's controllers and the bongos. And if you never played the game, Donkey Konga is basically a drumming game. And you go bom, 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 bom. And you got to hit the left side of the drum, bomb. Got to hit the right side of the drum, bomb. And every now and then you got to do a clap. I can't clap with this. Weird. There you go. Look, it seems to have this little bubble there. But anyway, but it's crazy. That's such a cool memory to me. I'm playing on the Wii, doing a sleepover with some mates. And what did we play? We played Nintendo Wii, and we played. I remember fondly Trackmania, but there was other games we definitely played. And Trackmania was fun because we all just had, I do think that gaming is a major social element of all of us. I know obviously people talk about playing board games. Board games are cool. Board games are cool. Okay. And you have the board game clubs and bits like that. And okay, I've done a board game club. Okay, they're cool. They're cool. But why is gaming not treated the same way? Like we have a lot of family-oriented games. We have games where everyone gets around. And one of the games that I play on stream is Smash Bros because it's communal. It's getting people together to really celebrate a game and to trying to beat each other in a nice competitive environment. Mario Kart, same thing. But does anyone else have these experiences with gaming? Obviously on stream it's slightly different. But do you do it with people within your family in the same way, or do you do it with friends? Another one was Pokemon, and this is one thing I loved about Pokemon on the GBA and on the Nintendo DS. So, if obviously I had two different versions, and that's very interesting because you had to go and find your mates. Your mates had to have the opposite version. They had the opposite version. You could trade the Pokemon, try and complete the Pokédex. When I got paid, one of my first paychecks went to, I think it was Black and White for Nintendo DS, and I remember getting my sister the other version. It's like, which one do you prefer? I'm having this one, you're having that one. Perfect, happy days. And it is trying to trade the Pokemon between. And it's just weird that, obviously now, I don't know anyone who I'll trade Pokemon with. Like, I should do. But I've ended up going on to more online forums to try and get these Pokemon, to try and complete the Pokedex on Pokemon Violet, originally, where basically people have special codes and you type in special codes and you trade, and it becomes a whole different thing. And it's more of a throwaway sort of thing. It's not a social experience. There's no Pokemon meetups where, let's go and meet up and all trade Pokemon. Maybe it's just environment in. Maybe if I had people at work, let's say, or in a club where we could trade Pokemon in, maybe. Yeah, I know a lot of people meet up for example, Pokemon trading cards. Pokemon trading cards is a big thing. In my area, Pokemon trading cards, yeah, I think it's 1 or 2 places. I think it's 1 or 2 places in my area which do it, and it's kind of annoying that because it's, why's my hand there? Because I want a bit more. I want to hang on with people, but yeah, so obviously that's where gaming's kind of become less social, more online based, and I hear the stories of people having an amazing online friendship, and arguably that's where I've been able to find amazing friends is online because of the internet, and that's obviously modern gaming. But I wonder how gaming in the noughties was that way, because we didn't have the online basis. Did we share games in slightly different ways? Well, not, and where I'm going back to the retro games, do we need, a lot more simple games? Because if you look back at the games back then, they were so much more simple. Okay, F-Zero is a complicated racing game with a story mode and bits like that. But one of the big standouts, if you've never played it, it's called Doshin the Giant. And I know it's a game that was never popular, but you're just a big giant yellow giant that goes round helping your village. Okay, and Animal Crossing came out in the noughties, and we had the big rise of the DS version, and we had the big rise of the Wii version, and that's always been simple. It's always been a cozy, simple game, and that's kind of where my mind goes. It's like these games are so simple. Are we overcomplicating games? Are we making too simple? Because I get fearful. Okay, there's a lot of games out there, and when I get here, how long it gets to beat some of these games, I freak out. I haven't got the time for that. I think when I've been saying I've been playing a lot of Pokemon, I'm only talking 9 hours, and it's just been when I've been traveling to and from work or when I'm at work. I take an hour just to play my game. But is that, I can't put the same amount of hours in as like Baldur's Gate with 30, 40, 50 hours. It's hard. So our game's getting long. Because I know that to complete Pokemon, it's about 20 hours. And to be fair, I question whether it was the same like Wind Waker. I don't remember how long Wind Waker took me. It must have been 20, 30 hours. But when we're talking about 40, 50 hours, obviously you're getting your game's value. Amazing. And that's what you should always be aiming for. But weirdly, I don't do that. I still play the simple games. I think I've put more hours into Nintendo Switch Sports and Smash Bros than any other game. And now a game that did come out of noughties, so when we talk about Smash Bros, okay? I met someone at MegaCon and we were discussing, and it was about Super Smash Bros. Melee. Now, if you look at competitive scenes of video games, it's crazy to think a game from the noughties called Super Smash Bros. Melee is still so popular. Now, obviously, people are trying to do the online bits and like that, and that stuff fascinates me because that game is a lot more simple than the modern Smash Bros. Because it has less characters, you can only pick certain stages, blah, 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 blah. And there was no competitive scene back in the, focus of it. And there'll be no updates ever to make it balanced. But people have made it that way. People have made it balanced and bits like that. And I find that's quite fascinating to me because how the heck has gaming changed when that fighting game to now 72? The game's still comparable though. The game's still comparable, but it's amazing how we spoke about Melee, how people had the passion for Melee, and how it's still so popular. It makes you wonder: is it a nostalgia thing? Game hand trackers. Can you stop that hand? There we go. Hand trackers being weird. I apologise, but basically, it's amazing that is it a nostalgia thing while we're playing Melee and why it's still so popular as a esport or not? And but honestly, my focus is obviously, like I say, more simple games. And my simple games are very much like Wii Sports. And it's a game that I've streamed a few times. I want to go back to because I love a game where I'm able to stream it. Okay, for one, I love streaming games like this and just chatting to people. And I find Wii Sports is very, very easy to do that on. But I do find other games can be very complicated. I know Splatoon is very too much in your face. And I wonder if it's that chill vibe. Is it a chill vibe thing? Have games become a lot less chill? You know what I'm saying? But obviously, I'm always kind of, is it the rose tinted glasses? I really want to try and be able to remove these rose tinted glasses because obviously I grew up with games on there, but also there's a fair point actually. It just came to my mind. Does anyone remember Pokemon Colosseum or Pokemon Gale of Darkness XD? So obviously, when Pokemon was being Pokemon, around that sort of time in the noughties, it really peaked again. You know, it's obviously not as big as it is now because Pokemon is saying how big it is now. But they really experimented a lot, and that was a really big experimentation was to get Colosseum and Gale of Darkness because it was so different to any other Pokemon game. Arguably, I still class it as the best Pokemon 3D game ever. And you know why? Because it was so damn cool. It was so damn cool. And it was more for a mature audience, but it wasn't too kiddie, but not too mature. It was kind of like this weird in between. You know, it was such a weird little game. But we also had Pokemon Channel, which was a cutesy, happy, chill, happy game. So really, it's just weird how games have changed, you know. And if you look at the Quest, okay, it seems like we're getting a lot more simple games like that. It's a Neko game. It's like a little game where you look after the cats. I think everyone's probably seen the trailer where you look after these cute chubby cats. That reminds me of the Nintendo sort of thing and looking after cute pets and Pikachu Pokemon Channel. Then we're getting Beat Saber and bits like that, and we're getting these fitness games on the thing. Reminds me very much of the Wii. So it's just very interesting to look at these sort of games and how they've evolved since then. And you know what? We're in the era of remakes as well, and I am curious where we had Metroid Prime remastered. Will we ever see games like that remastered? Well, obviously, I'm always hoping out for Wii Sports. The Wii is still arguably one of my favorite consoles in the world because of the fun element of it, the fun games. One of the games, Samba de Amigo. See, that got a re-release. Okay, Samba de Amigo got a new version out. I think it was like 2 months ago, and no one talked about it. Yeah, Samba de Amigo on the Nintendo Wii. Freaking banger game. Loved it. But why? Why have we not, you know, that was all it is. Samba de Amigo, if anyone's ever played it. You got 2 maracas, you go cha 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 cha. But Just Dance is still popular as well. And that's a fitness game. And that ended up starting out on the Wii. So now I'm very curious. What big games are games still family orientated? Are they moving away from that? Are they sticking to it? It's just fascinating to me. It's just my brain ticking. Hear my brain ticking as we're talking about this. Like my brain's opening up. I'm like very curious about the way games been going and how it is changing. How we've gone from cutesy happy chill. But then again, we also had always that dark, that more mature side. And is it just the audience growing up now? Anyway? But also with games like Fortnite, where everyone's gone pew 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 everywhere, the orientation about games of that sort of thing, nature, becoming so normalized, it's kind of quite curious. It's got me thinking, that's all. But I'm gonna be trying to boo a lot more nostalgic games, and it's just so weird for me. And it's just something that clicked is because I am playing my little Game Boy game, my little Game Boy Advance game, chilling out on the retro games. When I've got the Steam Deck where I could play PC games, but I haven't done. I haven't been playing the new Power World. I haven't been playing any of the new games on the Steam Deck. I don't find the games. I find that you've got to invest too much into the games. I haven't been playing my Nintendo Switch because I played the same 5 games numerous times over and over again. Okay, I've done Splatoon. I've done all these games, and they're fun online. Mario Kart's boring offline. Okay, it's fun for a while offline, but it's not forever. One of the experiences I also had, I brought the Switch into work. We had a 2-week break and we all played Switch Sports. One of the best things in the world to me, that it still holds true in my heart. Like, wow, this is what I want for gaming, is getting people together to have fun and game with each other, because it is just one of the things I love about streaming. It's one of the things I love about games. And yeah, it's just beautiful. Maybe it's just where I'm nostalgic. I want those experiences again of getting people around, play Wii Sports, to all have a joke around and Wii Fit, and the fitness games, the family games, and just bringing together other people with gaming. It's a beautiful thing. And I was just very curious: was that more of a noughties thing, or was that still available now? Was it more common in the noughties? Does anyone remember? Because I don't remember much of it. Okay, I don't remember much of it, but I'm kind of curious because Wii Sports is popular. but Switch Sports is not popular? Is it because Switch Sports is bad? Or was it that Wii Sports was that good, you know? Or was it just consoles? WarioWare is another example. WarioWare was so good on the Nintendo Wii. What happened? Was WarioWare on the Switch that bad? No, not at all. It's a fantastic game. But are we looking at things with rose-tinted glasses? Were games that good in it, or is just appreciating bad games? Look at Pokemon. Everyone's raving about Pokemon now on Scarlet and Violet. But they they did a whole remake of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which was one of the best Pokemon games at the time. And yet that was given poor review. Everyone hated it. Is that rose-tinted glasses? Are we looking at these old games and going, these are the best games ever because we grew up with them? Now, people say no. The GBA Pokemon is amazing. They're the best Pokemon games. So, honestly, that's another topic I want to go into, is talking about whether Pokemon goes back to 2D. Okay, that's a whole nother rabbit hole I want to go into. I'll probably do that one next week, to be fair, on the Nootcast. Until then, we've gone 25 minutes, 26 minutes, and hopefully you've had a bit of fun, and hopefully it piques your interest and you think, ooh, what games for the noughties did I enjoy playing? Because I could go on for hours about this, okay? This is a rabbit hole I could go into, and I've been playing a lot of old school games and been loving them. Where do I draw the line? I draw the line now. But if you got any feedback on like any topics, like I want to hear about people's games memories. You know, what did you find? What did you play, noughties? Did you enjoy? What games did you enjoy? And bits like I'm just kind of curious, like, you know, because I know people still talk about Mario Kart Double Dash and Mario Kart Wii being the best. Why? Mario Kart 8's better, but why? Why do we? I never grew up with it, and I still say, Mario Kart 8's better. But is it rose-tinted glasses, or were games better in the noughties? I'm just very curious. Was it the people around us celebrating the games and being able to share those gaming memories, or what? And is the quest taking off after where we left off or not? That's another thing to be thinking about, you know? All food for thought. All food for thought. Until then, see you next week for another long Nootcast. Until then, I'll be posting little thoughts and bits like that, and we'll have a bit of fun. But until then, and hopefully by this time, I'll be on Spotify. Yay! If you're listening on Spotify, this is my first time on Spotify. How cool is that?